Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Squad Sunday. I'm running a little late this week. I'm actually recording this on Sunday, and as you'll note from the layout that I'm showing you here, the lift this week is just a bit outside my comfort zone. I love it. It's gorgeous, but it's just not um, something. It's not similar to my normal style or colors or anything. And to be honest, I wasn't sure I had papers or embellishments that would be appropriate. So what I've chosen is I'm going to give it a shot, and I don't have a sweet mother-daughter or two little sisters shot like in the original. Instead, I have this cute photo of Reese, who loves to be with her daddy when he's working from home, and she's actually learned to be quiet when he's on the phone. But on a warm day, when the sun's kind of streaming through the window, she likes to lie right on top of his air conditioning vent. So he took this picture and he put it out on Facebook with a "she loves to lie on my vent" writing, and I kind of cropped that off. His room is gray, but it and the vent, which is also painted gray, came out a really pretty navy blue when I ran it through the waterlogged filter. And so I'm going to add a little blue. There's a little tiny bit of blue in the Prima paper that I'm using. And I have to tell you that you don't really need to be told, I suppose, that Prima papers are just not necessarily my style. But I guess any paper with a surfboard theme is fine. This particular paper came from the surfboard collection, and it is called Sun and Fun. And while the one side of the paper has this beautiful pastel stripe, and I love it. I absolutely love the two different pinks, the white, the blue, really nice, beachy colors. The other side has this just kind of wild, mixed media looking kind of pattern with embossing and kind of a silvery print on there. It's really pretty. And there were some palm trees in there, and I got a little bit of the silver embossing there. So I just fussy cut out a couple palm tree things. So I think I'm going to try to use those. And I'm using some bits that I'm cutting from some gorgeous lace piece that was given to me by my best friend in high school, Robbie, who owns an antique shop in near Denver, Colorado. And she made, a few years back, she made a trip to France and collected lace, either to sell as lace in her shop or to make things. And she makes dolls and cards and all kinds of things with vintage materials to sell in her shop. So I've cut 3 of these, and I'll use those as backgrounds. They're going to be tough to glue down, I think, but they'll eventually work out. And while they're not flat, excuse me, they'll provide some dimension. So in addition to that lace, I've also got my burlap, which I hesitate to work with because I think that's what's making me cough. I used that in my Mixed Media Frenzy layout on Friday. I've just got a couple strips and I'm going to pull, let me do that now. I'm going to pull some of the side pieces to make it mostly, I'll leave a couple strips down the center, and I'm going to let it be mostly fringe. So let me throw these pieces. Actually, I'm going to keep those pieces because I can maybe use those on this layout or others. This one has a few more strips to pull. I cut these across the grain on that ribbon, and I cut them 2 different widths, and that's okay because they're going to end up getting covered. And in the original, they've got this kind of a vertical line, one by the division of papers. There's a pink paper kind of overlaid on the white, and then there are these vertical things. There's some of the lace and textile, if you will, going here, and then also some paper layers. And then coming down, it doesn't go straight down. It kind of moves over a little bit to the side where the embellishments are for the paper. So some of that's going to be obscured by my large title and journaling piece, but I'm really proud of myself. I saw this key on the layout after I had organized my what is now my new cutting station, and it caused me to, organizing that cutting station caused me to reacquaint myself with some stamps and dies that I have, and I recalled that I had this key rubber stamp in the form of a key, and this die that cut the key and complete with the little hole in it, and I made myself this cute little key. And I used the die to also cut some white foam, and I glued the paper on top of the foam, and I put the tiniest little bit of Distress Oxide and gathered twigs, which is my inking, my preferred color for inking edges. And then I use this twine, kind of a burlap type twine, to tie around it, and that'll kind of go right in that area there. And I have some more twine for creating a nest or some other accents. So I'm going to, I found, this was my only sheet of Prima paper, and as you can guess, I probably don't have lots of pastels in my collection, but I did go to Maggie Holmes. A couple, these are pages from a 6x6 paper pad, and I think it's for the Gather collection, and I'm not sure what collection this came from. It was from a 12x12 paper pad. So I picked those 3 patterns. I have the butterflies being the largest one because it has just a variety of different colored butterflies there. I found in my Maggie Holmes supplies this acetate piece that has the blues and pinks in it. You can see the pink flowers, and there's even a little bit of yellow in there. And then I dipped into Vicki Boutin supplies for these flowers, which are similar to some flowers that are in the original, and this large pink protea. And I did this, this is the reverse side of the pink. I used this stencil and like that to make a journaling spot, and it's going to be I'm going to have my title and the floral on there like this, and kind of down to at this part of the photo, and then I'll fill out the other things. I may not use everything I have prepared here, but I've got it if I need it. And in addition to the burlap, I'm using this lace. I had several varieties of lace. This kind of buttery color I thought was beautiful, but just not the right color for that, although it might have given it a nice look. And this kind of more antique sort of, or salmon kind of pink. Both of these are by My Mind's Eye, and with My Mind's Eye and their Lost and Found collection. This was Lost and Found Christmas, which has never been opened. And this is Lost and Found 2. Rosie was Lost and Found 2 had 4 different collections in different color stories. There was Rosie, and then there was one that was kind of this color, sort of orangey coral color, and a couple of blues, one more true blue and one more aqua blue. And they were all gorgeous collections, and at one time I had every piece of all 4. They were available on Peachy Cheap or something like that. And I'd already bought some single pieces, but I wanted it all. And I used it extensively for some vintage photos when I was doing an album about myself as a baby. But it kind of, I went a different way, style-wise, and so I almost hate covering all of this up, but it's the only sheet I had, and I desperately love this pink. Now, I've distressed the edges and kind of bent it back. I've inked the edges rather than distressing, actually. So I notice on the original, it's kind of, and this is a 5-inch piece, and I've moved it over only about a 1/2 inch, so it's still not dead center. I hate doing things dead center. Christina Swords was talking about that yesterday. Visually, it's not pleasing, I think. Okay, so not even really sure where to start here. I'm reasonably certain that the photo is the last thing I need to put on. So I'm going to take, I have these, there's the strong horizontal element and strong vertical element. I'm going to have the horizontals kind of be right here. And I'm going to, I think that's the right length for those. And it looks like they could benefit from being propped up on some foam. There's the foam that I cut the key out of, and I may be able to use that foam, what's left there. Probably could use it for this. Just so they stand out a little from the background, because it's the same colors. It's not necessarily a this isn't supposed to stand out for its color. It's in the end, it kind of just becomes a texture. So that will be helped along by this this foam, and I'm missing a couple bits from the end here. I had a little bit of trouble interpreting what I wanted to do. I did not want, I could have, because I think it is a mixed media layout, I could have turned it into a mixed media project, but I preferred building the texture with these papers and fibers. So we'll see how that works out. There's and I'm gonna take, I'm trying to do a somewhat literal interpretation. So we'll kind of see where that ends up. I want to do this paper here. I think it's a little too tall. I tore this out and I've got it so that you'll see that silver embossing, but again, it's going to serve as a texture, not as literal words. So, and then it looks like all of the papers are somewhat, bent and ruffled, and some of them may be tissue, and I looked at my tissues and didn't really have anything. So they're bent in the middle, and I want to leave that feature. So while it's bent, I'm going to glue it down and kind of just glue it in one place so it can kind of stick up and be vented or kind of bent there. It looks like there are two pieces up at the top. Maybe a piece right here that, and the lace and burlap kind of lay on top of that. I'm actually going to do it there. Ooh, that's a pretty side there. Let me do that side. That's the side I want to do. So bending it twice like that will just further enhance that kind of look that's there. So let me kind of get that, and that's gonna kind of go right in there. Let me pull it down here so that it's not the exact same length. Okay, here I'm gonna try and see if it will stick to my adhesive. It does. So let me see, do I want it that tall? Maybe do not. Let me get a few bits of that up so it's fringy up there too. Fringy is a word, right? Okay. And I'll put, it looks like after I put these banners on is when I do all of this texturizing over here. So I'm going to do this lace now, and I'll kind of pull some strings on it so it looks the worse for wear. And this I'm going to lay maybe tuck it under here. And the reason I want to do that is so that I can lay some adhesive down here for it to stick to. And I'm just about at the end of this roll. I may be at the end. Okay, let me get this lace on there before the paper hits that glue. Then I'll lay the paper there, and that I may do with liquid glue, and that will kind of help that to stick. I'm trying to maintain that bend, and that may be my downfall here. I should wait till the glue is dry and then try to enforce the bend, and I may be able to do it with my tweezers. Do you think? Can you tell? I have no idea what I'm doing. I know what I'm going for. I want that seam there. Okay, so that's laid, and it really looks awful to me, but, and with mixed media, I would know that some more layers going on top of that would change how that looks. I don't know that in this case. Okay, so here we have, again, some bent papers. I'm going to, that one's too long. I'm going to cut some off. I cut the others down. They're smaller. There was this longer piece. I may have cut a bit too much off of that. So again, let me put adhesive here and put it down at the bottom here, and it's kind of over. So there. Okay, that was easier to do kind of at that, and I'm going to tilt it over there. So I've got the bend and a little bit of dimension there. Okay, next I was going to use the pink gingham check. And I'll press that one this way. That's going to make a lot of texture for the photo cluster to go over and to sit on top of. But, so maybe I shouldn't try to emphasize it so much. It's just a nice look, I think. A different way of getting some dimension. And I'm going to kind of overlap that. Stick it there because I want this for the photo to be on. And the bend isn't going to show on this pattern. This has that kind of navy blue color in it that's in the photo. So I think that's going to look cute there. Okay, now I want the taller palm trees over here. Let me, And I'm going to cover this with one of those flower clusters. And I'll have this set of palm trees there. And I'm just going to put a little glue at the bottom. I want the tops to be somewhat bent and to give me a lot of texture up here. Maybe even be tilted out to the side like that. Let me get, I don't want there to be anything showing there. Do I want to do that way? You know what? I do want it further out here. And this is where I may use this. I may add this in right now and let it kind of overlap over here so that we don't have the whole thing showing. Okay, so that glue is going to be enough to hold the acetate piece and the palm tree. And I've got a little of that texture there, and the photo's going to kind of go right in there. Okay, this one, the placement of things is a little, and the reason you may have noticed this in the past, that when I'm comfortable with the style, I kind of put the photo aside, the original layout aside, and go off on my own direction. But when it's different from my style, or it's something that I don't do or haven't done, I like to do a more literal interpretation, because it teaches me something. I'm going to do these. I cut or tore these bits here to use as part of the horizontal thing. I may not add those until I attach the photo. So here is the next piece of texture on top of the banners, and kind of offset to the side. If I weren't trying to do this literal interpretation, I might go my own way and do that. Let's see, where did that pink piece go? I'll do it this way. And I'm going to pull some threads down here. Maybe down here would be better. I'm going to have to do liquid glue on this one. And we'll see. I'll have it a different length. Okay. Now, well, again, wait until the photo. I have this little bit of prettiness I may put under the photo. Let me kind of ink that up a little bit. It looks kind of fresh and new compared to the vintagey elements here. I'm not going to put it there yet. Let's see or maybe I am. Let's see what we need for the photo. I'm going to back it with foam. It has a couple paper layers, and it's nice and sturdy, so it won't, it doesn't have to, let's see where I want to attach it. Maybe here, and then I'll put a cluster there, and I know I'm going to I'll have a flower cluster there above where the title cluster goes, but I need to be sure I have room for the title cluster. So it's going to go kind of like so, and these things just barely peek out underneath it. I'll move it over a little bit. Okay. All right. And it's kind of up a little, this horizontal element is up a little higher on mine than it was on the original. Let me see if that can squeeze in there. Is that, I don't know why I want to do that, because it's just cute, I guess. And I didn't want to throw that print away. Okay, I'll let it be there. Maybe get a little glue that will hold it there. As you can see, this one just isn't quite it's not coming together as quickly as I might like. Let me do, let's see, let me get the largest of these flowers and maybe do, slide that in there, and then this, or does it maybe come down here, and I do this here, and the flower here where it kind of overlaps over into that, and then that. Okay, this is going to give it a very different look. Let me get the flower adhered onto here. Well, actually, let me do it with foam. And then this will go on with some foam as well. That doesn't, there we go. Okay, that looks like a nice, well, this is probably going to have to go on with some glue. Let me place this, and then I'll see what I have to cover up with that. I don't want to cover up too much of the photo, but some is going to be covered up. if I had it to do over again, and I suppose I do, I could have made this whole thing smaller, chosen a smaller flower image and this covers this entire banner. And is that okay? There's a little bit peeking out right here. And a little bit of this. Is there any way I can move that down? In fact, is there any way I can move the whole thing down? Just a little bit is all I need. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And there, it kind of shows there, and I can pull a couple more strings off. Okay, let me get this glued down here, and then just a little bit of glue on the corner of the photo. Touch that there, and this here. And then I don't really need the largest one of these flowers. I can kind of slide that in there. Actually, I think I want I'll go with this lace here. Well, I'm going to just cut this in half, and then we'll slide it under the photo there, and then we'll add this bit of lace, and I'm going to attach it by putting some glue on this platform there. In a way, it's sort of a platform. And then I'm gonna I'll use this kind of as is. This one, I'm just gonna add right in there, and I don't care that it goes under some layers and over some others. That's kind of part of its job. I'm going to let it extend out across the, and break that line, which the original does not do, but which I think might add some interest. So let me get that lifted up. And here is where I'm going to do a butterfly, one of the 3 butterflies I have cut for this, and I'm going to attach it right onto, or just above. What else do I have that can kind of, I may find a sticker in there, but let me do this on a large glob of glue. Kind of get that pressed down. Now the metallic on the butterflies is gold, and I've got the silver going on the paper, but there's not enough of it to show. And even if there were, I don't mind mixing metals as I did in last week's scrap timber layout that I did. Okay, and I like that kind of comes out in a little bit different place. Now over here is where my key is going to go, and I want to add some blue over here. So we'll see where the nest needs to be. I want to do this flower, just kind of start building layers of stuff without knowing whether, what's going to show and what isn't. There, and then I'm going to tuck this under. I'm going to put some glue on that center dot so that it can move. So maybe should have done that first. Got that on there. Wanted to put this, I need it someplace where that broken wing won't show, and it would have been good maybe right here. And it may still be good right there. I don't need to have them spread really far apart. Let me get some glue. What I'm working with are things with lots of bends in them and liquid glue that hasn't dried yet. So get my tweezers to really push that down. Okay, I love that look of the one butterfly chasing the other. Okay, let me come over here, and I want to do the key kind of right in here, and I want this to maybe get tucked. Okay, let me get some glue on it. Some glue leaked from my bottle right there, and okay, and I'm going to do this butterfly kind of right there. Now it has a clipped wing right up there, and I'm hoping that's not, that doesn't show. I'm not going to be able to disguise that. I'm down, as you can see, to the last of these incredible butterflies, vellum butterflies with that holographic gold. Okay, so that's on there. Now I have another piece of this that I thought I would do kind of right tucked in there. So we have that kind of embroidered texture there. Just peeking out. Okay, anything else that I want to get in there? I do want to create a little nest, Maybe I'll do that back over here behind these palm trees. So I made a nest the other day that kind of looked more like a lasso, and so I want to mix this one up a little bit more and kind of tangle and tie it to kind of go along with that vintagey look. And then I'm gonna turn the page around, do some glue under there, get my popsicle stick, tuck it under. I usually make the nests with a finer gauge thread. This is actually a, like I said, a burlap twine. Okay, now I'm going to, I'll look through my stickers and see if I've got anything, but first, well, no, actually, let's do these pearls, see where they would look nice. Maybe one right there. These are, I forget who makes them. They were part of a kit that I got from Christina at Secret Not Secret, and I forget if it was a project kit or one of my scrapbooking kits, but I don't use them because they're really hard to pick up. I have trouble holding on to them with my fingers, and then my tweezers aren't all that great with them, and I made too big a glob of glue there. So I'm not going to do very many of these. I'm going to do some, I'm going to use this Heidi Swapp Color Shine in the Tinsel color. It's an iridescent spritz. I'm going to add yet another metallic to the mix. I'll maybe put one of these. Where do I want one? I'll put it up here. It's just a little bit different texture of pink than I could get with a sequin or an enamel dot or Nuvo drops. And I just like the look of that little half pearl there, and it's a different enough pink that it kind of stands out. Okay, let me put that aside. Let's look at these stickers and see what there is. These are Maggie Holmes. I had my eye on that pink one, and I may put it right there. It's irregularly shaped and just needs a little bit of inking to have that fully vintage feel. Let me cut it in half. There, and then this might work right over in here. I've got everything kind of glued down over here, but it could be just another little bit of a layer. There's this Sweetheart phrase sticker that could go, it could go down here, but that's really close to the title. So I thought maybe, now this guy keeps moving around. It's on liquid glue. I think I'll just kind of tuck it back in here, and it just looks like a kind of a side comment there. There's some stars. I don't think I need anything else from there. Put that aside. There was something in here that I liked. I like this, well, I love this tag. I liked this, and I thought maybe I could cut it in half and tuck it somewhere, maybe right in here. It's kind of that gold glitter and the antique look of the craft background. Maybe just kind of tuck that, and it's just sticking to that crochet piece. Let me see, this might, work there, and it's at a different angle from this, so I think that kind of adds to the interest. Let's see what else there is. I liked that, but I don't see how I can fit that in. Maybe, ooh, banner. It's a banner, guys, and there are banners elsewhere. Let's see. How about over here? Let me put a little glue on it. It's the right pink to go under this guy. And it's the right shape to go over here with this whole collection of different types of banners. Okay, I like that. Now, here's the little rose that I thought I might try to sneak in. Maybe right there. There's this different kind of butterfly, and I think it's so different that I won't use it. I might put this little heart right there, and there's another little one right here. Okay, so I got my two hearts in. I've got this little strip that says the best part. Don't need it. There's a tiny little thing of blue flowers that might work right there. And I had thought maybe this gold garland wreath piece might work. There's a bee. I like the bee. I have butterflies. Why not a bee? I want the bee here on the key. It's a key bee. Okay, so I think I'm done dressing it up. Let's see if there's anything here. Pure happiness, that would be, I started to use, I have a word that says bliss, and I thought that would be appropriate for the look on her face there. I'm gonna do this kind of right there. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna do it up here. Now, you know what? I think I'm not gonna use it. That's a usable enough phrase. I'm gonna just cover up the photo with some scrap paper. Let me make sure it's scrap paper that I don't ever want to use again. I can do that. And then this color shine, I'm gonna have to fix that up later. This color shine can go over everything and touch. In the original, it actually overlays, it touches everything except the words and the photo. So I'm going to let it go. This is a nice metallic that is gray instead of black. And it has a little bit of a bluish tint to it. I'm hoping to get some to show on those palm trees. I definitely want it on the banners, and I'm okay if it gets on the title. Okay, so that's my nod to mixed media. And we'll go here, and I think I'm done. This took a while, and I wasn't absolutely sure I was going to like it, but I think it's great. And it's kind of silly to take just an everyday kind of photo like that one of Reese, and then really go hog wild dressing everything up. So I like my nest here. I actually like the nest better than the kind of casual bow that I used here. In fact, let me do this. I'll just let it do that. This was bothering me. It wasn't attractive. Okay, so now it's finished, and I think I'm happy with it. I like that there's a bit of this pink lace kind of tucked under there, and this all looks very kind of messy, and let me kind of increase that messy look by sort of bending it over, letting it have a little more textural look, and I'll maybe see if I can coax it up over this title word. There we go. Okay, that works. And you can read that it says Happy Soul, even though the flower's overlapping it, and the burlap's coming out. Okay, so it's done. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry it's late today. I had some things going on yesterday and last night, an all-day class, and then, you know, life. So happy to be here. See you next week for Scrap Squad Sunday. Go out and try your hand at this. Rebecca Meadows did a very different interpretation of it that captured the soul of it but I kind of wanted to step outside my comfort zone and try to do a literal interpretation. And I'm generally happy with it. Won't be doing this again soon because it is so far outside my comfort zone. And that's my last piece of Prima paper. So, bye. I'll see you next week.